Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Premium German Battleship, Tirpitz. She has 69,300 health, a top speed of 30.5 knots, 8 380mm guns, 8 torpedoes, a surface detect of 14.3 kilometers, and 72 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main armament, improved secondary armament, reduce the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, direction center catapult aircraft, expert marksman, adrenaline rush, basic firing training, vigilance, manual secondary, and advanced firing training. We're on the map Land of Fire, and to continue the non-standard ship week, it's the Tirpitz. This is the oldest German ship, and it's really fun. It's got torpedoes. This is the ship where people learn that, you know what, battleships, they can have torpedoes. And that day is long gone where people accidentally sail too close, right? But it's still really fun to be aggressive and push forward against people that probably underestimate the aggressiveness that you can employ. And I wanted to talk about the build, because the build is not what I would run on a Bismarck. I don't need vigilance. I just don't. I have hydroacoustic. Hydroacoustic coupled with the superintendent skill, I'm getting more bang for my buck, right? I get another heal and hydro. And you need to consider that the secondary range isn't very good. It has 6.8 after module, signal flag, and the commander skill. 6.8 is really bad. But that's not the end of the world. The Tirpitz has torpedoes. If I'm given an opportunity, I'm going to move forward and use them against enemy battleships. And conveniently, we see an enemy cruiser. He's out in the open. He's between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place just hit him for 17,000, roughly. We got a nice citadel on him. He can't angle. He can't do anything. He has to just hope that I miss the shot. Otherwise, he's dead. And of course, we set up a shot again. And it looks pretty good. Pretty straightforward. You need to try to identify the weaknesses in your enemy's play. I was over on the western flank, and I felt like, man, there are a lot of guys on the west. We've got destroyers, a couple battleships. I can't really push in and succeed all by myself, or even with one or two. I wanted to try and find an opening, and when I looked over to the east, I saw my opening against that hipper. Now notice that the enemy destroyer that was in the west is now in the east. There's only two, and the other destroyer, both of them are in the east. I can actually push forward very aggressively. Now I don't want to go against the Bismarck because his secondaries are ridiculous, but I would like to push forward. Nice. Friendlies hit torpedoes on him, which is really convenient. It turns an aggressive player into a passive player. But there are a couple battleships that I could address and use my torpedoes against. Now, let me just talk about the skills that I've chosen. Direction center. Why? It's a cheap hydroacoustic. I cannot use hydroacoustic on the Tirpitz. Expert marksman and adrenaline rush. Adrenaline rush for aggression. Expert marksman. Yeah, it's not going to give me a lot. The German battleships have a pretty fast turret traverse, but in super close brawling, every second counts, right? And that could be the difference between getting a salvo off and killing him and dying. So I went with it, and I only had 2 points left, right? I could get Jack of all trades or High Alert, and I felt like Expert Marksman was better in my stated goal of getting close to the enemy. We picked up Vigilance and Basic Firing Training. Basic Firing Training for secondary build. Vigilance for the aggressive nature that I'm trying to look for. If I was the Bismarck or the Friedrich der Grosse or the Grosse Kurfürst, I would go Superintendent because I have hydroacoustic. It gives me hydroacoustic charge and a heal charge. I'm not going to deny it. I would love a million heal charges, but I just can't justify it over other skills. Vigilance gives me just enough information to avoid the torpedoes. I'm not trying to see them a million miles away. I just want to have enough time to avoid them. And for my level 4s, manual secondary and advanced firing training. The reason I went this is I just wanted to see how well it aligned with my stated goal of aggression, torpedo range, all of that. And these two enemy Bayans, 2 versus 1. I'm going to get a little bit of assistance, hopefully, from the torpedoes. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm in close brawling range to these enemy. I sent out my starboard side torpedoes, and it looks like they're not going to hit at all. Because the second I sent it out, he decided to turn. That's not good. Now, the secondaries are doing work. They set fires. The enemy was immune, probably for flooding, but he's not immune anymore, so he's just going to die to a dot or start wearing out to damage over time. You would be surprised how often I have to bring that up. Damage over time, damage over time. Fire is damage over time. Flood is damage over time, right? It's a dot. So I'm just going to allow the first one to pass by. Keep my manual secondaries on him. And for the second one, I am not going to miss the torpedoes. I'm going to hold until it's 100% going to hit. And we're going to get 4 on him. Do a ton of damage. Look back. Enemy dies. Combination of my secondaries and the fire. The second Bayan dies to a combination of friendly torpedoes and dots. And please don't hit the torpedo. Oh, thank you, Notser. Thank you for pulling a Notser. The trademark saves us. Well, hey, don't apologize, man. Beheading beast. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Enemy Fubuki. Set the manual secondaries, of course. Trying to rotate my guns. We're going to try and lock in on the target. And look at how much damage our secondaries did. It did 2,500 in the first salvo. I was just shocked. I was like, oh my god. Secondaries are pretty good for the Tirpitz. Yeah, they are. And spam that heal button. Oh man, spam the heal button. It's 10 minutes in, or 9 minutes in, and we're almost dead. Not quite. And many of you are going, oh, I bet you wish you had Superintendent right about now. You know what? I have to give up basic firing training or vigilance for that. Which would you give up? I wouldn't give up neither, because vigilance is going to protect me in that time frame where torpedoes are coming my way. I really like investing in the early to mid game. If I can just obliterate the enemies, then it's much easier for my teammates to mop them up. Yes, I'm sure everyone would say, or a lot of people would say, you know, it's Superintendent, it's just so good, Notser. It is good to have an extra heal, but it doesn't give me much more. I don't really care about the extra fighter. Yeah, sure, it's nice, but you don't get Superintendent for the extra fighter. Now, you might notice that I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to get the hell out of there. I'm way too low, and boy, my ship looks like it's been through hell, and it has. It's been in close proximity to 2 battleships. It's taken fire from multiple other ships, and we're still alive. We did 117,000. That was fun. I enjoyed that, but it's not enough. We need to do more. Yeah, sure, Notser. You can get 1 or 2 kills or ram the target, but your goal should always be more. Can I do more for my team? Always try to do more for your team. I did not have the advantage anymore. I needed to back away. So we've used our last heal, and it's going to get us up to about a quarter to a third, roughly. So our adrenaline rush should be very effective. The stated rate of fire is 26 seconds. Let's look at it right now. Almost 21. That's not bad. That's pretty impressive rate of fire increase. And ooh, it's always nice when you can Citadel a Graf Spee. I always find that I overpin him so much, and to Citadel the guy, oh, it's beautiful. But that's not the goal. The goal is to get onto the eastern side of the map and improve our chances. There's a couple low-tier ships that I can pick on. What can I say? You're supposed to pick on targets. And there's a destroyer. My team probably needs me. The western flank, they need me as well, but the enemy is in a defensive posture. It doesn't make any sense to try and brute force their defensive line. They have an Atlanta, a North Carolina, and a Graf Spee. And I was very low, figuring that they wanted to kill me. So I'm just trying to drop off detection. I can reappear against the enemy, and thankfully, The friendlies are able to take out the Sims, so I don't have to worry about any more destroyers. I can be 100% aggressive with my torpedoes and secondary. There's nothing they can do outside of the Grafspee and I think the Atlanta. So the North Carolina, he's going to show his side. I think it's worth risking the ship to get more damage on the target. Sort of walk it in just a little bit. Friendlies are also engaging the target. The Akatsuki is... ooh, he takes a lot of damage. We're in Confederate, which is nice. That just means that we spread the love around, right? We've given so much love to the enemy, and I just want to give more. That's all I want. Please, Akatsuki, live! There are a ton of torpedoes that are going to force the enemy to maneuver. Remember that the Atlanta has radar. I know that's not exactly what you want to hear, especially as a destroyer. You got to be very careful. If he pushes forward, oh man, it's so obvious that he wants to use his radar. We lose the friendly that is actually scouting them. The friendly Akatsuki is in the smoke, that's why he can't see it. And I can't see them either. And as we rotate around the islands and the smoke, we see a picture. Oh man, we lost the friendly. They caught sight of him. He lets them know it, that he's annoyed by it. That is unfortunate. I don't know if I would have done better up there. I think I would have died very quickly if I would have continued pushing forward. The friendlies did continue to push forward, and they died. I don't think it was within our best interest to go up against 3 defensive ships. I just felt like I was going to die if I continued moving on the western flank. If I transitioned to the eastern flank, maybe I could get 1 or 2 more enemies and we could have an advantage to the point where possibly the enemies come out from hiding at their base. We'll see, right? You never know, you never know. Maybe a friendly is going to go 1 versus 3 towards their base, and then I have to find another kill. But whenever I was engaged with the North Carolina, the Grafspee, and the Atlanta, I didn't have 2 charges of my heal. I think I was at 9,000 hit points. I just don't see my ship surviving, no matter how good I am against a full-life Grafspee, Atlanta, and North Carolina. Now we lose sight of the Colorado. I should probably use my fighter to detect the target. But I think it was talking about the number of fires I set. That is true. Setting 6 fires is worth the investment. That is a lot to the enemy's protective capability because they got to use damage control or they're going to just burn for a while. Now the Colorado comes out from hiding and we fire at the waterline. We get a citadel. High caliber. I send out my torpedoes for good measure, and I set the target as my manual secondary. I don't know that he's going to survive for the torpedoes to make contact, but the secondaries could kill him. Which they do. Actually, he burns down. Still a secondary kill, okay? Fires are only set from HE. My main battery has not changed from AP. Enemy Prince Eugen shows a ton of his side, and can we punish? Nope, no we can't. But that probably is not going to be the only time we can punish. And look at the enemies. They're going to try and reinforce their friends, but they might come a little bit too close, and we can punish that. Still want to focus on the Prince Eugen, but I don't want the enemies to get a shot on me. And the Prince Eugen, he's about to come out from behind the island. Showing a perfect broadside, we lose the friendly Fuso who is out in the open. We have no spotting on the enemies over there. Ooh, that dispersion. It was good, but it overpinned. Ah, kill the guy. Just kill him. And you notice what I'm doing right here. I'm trying to rush forward to keep that island on the left side of the screen in between my ship and the North Carolina / Grafspee. It's limiting it to a 1 versus 1. Oh, really? that was a terrible, terrible shot. I should have just elevated mid-ship for the confirmed kill, not rely on good dispersion, and look at what happened. Now the enemy North Carolina, look, he can't keep up. The island is in between. His shots are not going to hit me. And as I'm gaining ground, there is a cruiser out there, which I was recognizing. It's an Atlanta. He's showing too much of his side. So we're just going to go waterline shot, right? It's 1 versus 1. even though we're aggressively pushing, and we missed that citadel. Okay, well, maybe the back gun's gonna work out, right? Maybe the back gun's gonna work out. And conveniently, he softens his angle just in the nick of time for us to get the kill. And the North Carolina has now given up any advantage he might have. His health means nothing at this range. All I have to do is wait him out. We have a clear advantage that the enemy has to overcome. And we're very close to each other. I don't have my aircraft. I would like to use my aircraft, but I can't. Friendly is able to scout out the enemies, and it does look like the North Carolina is headed forward. Just trying to get an idea. Elevate that gun just to see. I felt like maybe he was going to speed up, so I gave him a little bit more lead. And we're going to fire at the water line, and what the heck? No citadels there? The torpedoes will be enough, though. Yep. Couldn't do a thing, right? Couldn't do a thing. And this game has been awesome. 6 kills. 224,000 points of damage done. We've killed, what, 2 targets with torpedoes? At the very least, we got 2 targets very low because of torpedoes. This game has really made me say, yeah, I think the build's pretty good, Notser. I think we're going to stick with it. It just aligns so well. Secondaries and torpedoes. Yeah, the range is crap, but you got to get a range for your torpedoes anyway. And 160 hits, right? Hard to tell at this range. 160 hits on the secondaries, 7 fires. That is some significant extra damage that you just wouldn't get if you didn't invest in them. Aha, sneaky Grafspee. There's an example of maybe Vigilance saving me 1 or 2 torpedo hits. I don't know. The aircraft was also in the sky. Hard to say exactly where it was spotted. And oh, here's some more. Okay, well, we're going to try and go port. Looks like we'll be fine. Just enough time, right? That's the idea. You make your AA just good enough that the enemy doesn't want to stay by. You inform yourself of torpedoes just enough that you can maneuver for them. You maximize your rate of fire. You try and maximize your angling as often as you can. It works pretty well. And let's try and get this kill. 45 seconds left. He's very low. But he is the Grafspee, and the Grafspee has absolutely amazing agility for pocket battleship. He can dodge left, dodge right. 4,000, all right. Dispersion, not our favor there. I don't think we can do it. I don't know. We're going to get 4 more salvos left. Well, 4 more individual turrets, and he's trying to kill me. You're not going to kill this. Can we hit with the shot? I lead him over to the left or the port side. Just a little bit too much. Just barely off the ship. 2,000. Another 3,000. No, it's going to be not enough. But I can't complain about a game like that. That was a great game. That was absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed it. And holy crap, credit income. Confederate, Close Quarter Expert, First Blood, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, 6 kills, 238,000 points of damage done. 1.2 million credits earned. 7 torpedoes on target, 160 secondaries, 7 fire, 4 citadels. What wasn't there? 2,584 base XP. Look how much more I scored than anyone on my team. That was the most shocking thing. Just how far ahead I am of 2nd place on the team. I don't know what happened. Did I take all the kills? Did the enemy team just only die for me? I don't know, but apparently I was able to score a ton. As far as damage is concerned, 149,000 main battery AP, 63,000 in torpedoes, and 27,000 in secondaries between the fires and, of course, the HE shell. 2.2 million was shot at me. We did about everything you could do in a battleship. We tanked a lot of damage. We did a lot of brawling, good long-range shots against cruisers, took out even a destroyer at close range. It was great. It was absolutely great. I really enjoyed this build, and hopefully, maybe you get to try it out and see if it meshes well with your playstyle. I like to be aggressive. You watch how I play. You understand what I'm talking about. Be aggressive. Punish mistakes like the cruisers showing too much side, destroyers getting too close, battleships not respecting your torpedoes. And when you're able to do that, you're able to do a lot of damage to the enemies in close quarter combat. Mid to long range, it's got everything. And the credit income. What's not to like about the credit income? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.